Hello and welcome to Eyes of Saemyth. I believe it's episode 28 or 29, one of those two. We're going to get started with the session with a session recap. Whoever would like to give the recap gets an inspiration for the session. So
I'll do it.
Who wants to give? There you go.
I need this session. I feel like I'm going to need it. Last time on Glee. In our last session, our party did quite a bit, I believe. The main thing you need to know is that we went and saw the merchant. Because we had a visitor named the Bagman who appeared from the portable hole that we had come across and was licking Lyre's ear, apparently. After a brief encounter with said Bagman, the party were able to capture it and travel to the merchant and make a deal in which they traded the life of this Bagman to the merchant in return for a teleportation coin, I believe it was. After some brief conversation and knowledge shared and deals made and more selfie stones, the party retreated and Ymir, our former friend, revealed that she was part or a follower of Synthesis, this new entity or this new force that was gifting Ymir with powers. It was also revealed that Ymir was the granddaughter of the White Wolf and had been relaying information and knowledge about what the party had been learning as they traveled. Ymir left. Sinza was heartbroken. Lyre was furious. And Kaiden stayed quiet. They realized that these four entities in their dreams are connected strongly. And that one of them, named the Executioner, was headed towards the Conclave of Kaiden's home. So the party are preparing to travel back to the Conclave to meet this Executioner, if they can get there on time. Toby?
Take your inspiration for the session.
I'm gonna need it.
You're gonna need it. So, it's a matter of time. You're not rushing because you have mere minutes to get there, but you are aware that every hour that ticks by is an hour closer to the Executioner making it to the Conclave before you do. Luckily, you've managed to send a message ahead of time to 𝘏𝘪, who has started to prepare the Conclave in your stead. So you have a bit of time while you are here to prepare to rest before you travel. And for some of you, you're going to be busier than others. As Lyre, you are currently in Genka's workshop, in the 𝘍𝘪𝘬𝘧𝘐 estate. This smithy is a strange one. It's not quite your typical looking forge. It seems like this place is full of weird kind of trinkets and devices and things that Genka has made in order to make their work easier. And series of cogs and other kind of machinery are embedded into walls and frames, and you can see them all kind of hard at work as he is moving around and effectively turning the lights on, turning the place up. What do you present to Genka in order to make this cipher?
Okay, this has been a lot of prep and a lot of work. Okay. So Lyre's going to walk up to whatever desk table that Genka is standing at. And he's going to put down his book that has all his notes and his markings and ideas and plans of how this may work. And flip to pages, pull pages out, and place them around. He's going to pull out the tooth and place it on the table and sort of look at it. And look a little concerned. He's then going to reach down to his belt and pull out the dagger that Zani gave him and place it on the table as well. So, the plan is to at least get something in beta testing. Something that can start this idea to make sure that it actually works and it functions. Now, this entire time, I've thought maybe the tooth itself can be this hold, this bag, this jar of endless magical power. But I realize in such a small circumference, that may not be the best idea. It's also difficult to wield a tooth. But ever since
unless they are embedded in your head, but I don't intend to, do that to you.
That's
I
fair.
could.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't. But since being able to connect to the weave again and finding a new sense of magic through blade singing, maybe if I connect the two together. So with this blade, if we place a tooth in the hilt of the blade, connect it through weaves of magic or runes or whatever necessities we can come to use that will work, I can use it as a weapon and a siphon. All in one. It gives the magic more of a current to flow through as well.
They look at Zani's dagger. And they kind of flip it over in their hands. It's not crude by any means. Like, this is a very nice, well put together dagger. It's sharpened a little funny, but that's because she didn't have like a sharpening block when she was doing it. She knows what she's doing. Rocks. And she, they look at it, and then they look at your trident, and then back down to the blade again. You know how to tether weapons.
I do.
Good. Get to work. They slide it across the table. I will finalize some drafts on how to attach this.
There's one more thing. He'll tap to the gem on his trident. This is where the main arcane energy comes from, and we might need something on that, as he gestures down to the dagger. And I have something that might work. He's going to reach into his bag. And a long time ago, I grabbed blood crystals from Kaiden.
From Kaiden.
Wild magic blood crystals. And I'm going to place it on the table.
You immediately watch as Genka's eyes widen as they're kind of looking at it. And they pull something out their back pocket, kind of hook it over their ears, and pull a mask up over their face. Okay. Not what I was expecting, honestly. This is a safety precaution for your sake.
Understandable.
And they pick up one of the crystals and kind of turn it over. You think this will be able to channel all kinds of magic?
Or at least hold it.
I've never worked with something like this before.
Neither have I. But that
I'm
thing
almost
holds
400 years old, Lyre.
something new.
Something new.
It's made of wild magic. If we're going to create a siphon that needs to hold all kinds of magic,
Are you sure
we
it's
need
going to hold?
I don't know. But I'm making this weapon, this siphon, so that it can be upgraded in time. If this doesn't work, if it breaks, I'll find something new.
Okay. That's the joy of creating if you don't experiment. Huh.
Exactly.
Okay, we have some work to do, and not a lot of time to do it. Well, for you. I won't be going with you to wherever you're going next, but when you come back, let me know. Right, you start working. I will start doing this. Yes. And they kind of move over to a desk on the other side of the room and begin kind of drawing out blueprints and figuring out how to attach the fang to the dagger.
Can I help with that?
If you'd like to.
I have an idea.
Yeah?
If he's sort of like placing them together and trying to find where they fit, Lyre's going to walk over and cast Detect Magic. And I want to see, using tethers, kind of like how 𝘞𝘰𝘮𝘭𝘠 did, I want to see if I can find tethers between the dagger and the tooth. And I want to see if I can sort of interconnect them so that pulling them together is like tying a ribbon.
Roll me an Arcana check at advantage because you're using Detect Magic at the same time.
Rolled a 19. 5. So 19 plus Arcana, 19 plus 8.
27.
26. 27? 27.
As you are trying to kind of hone yourself in to begin kind of tethering this weapon together, you can see them. You can see the threads. They're very faint, but you can make them out. Now that you effectively know what they look like, you were shown them by 𝘞𝘰𝘮𝘭𝘥, you're seeing these spiderweb thin lines interwoven almost perfectly symmetrically, but separated. And you begin kind of almost like trying to tie them together without touching them, just kind of coaxing them over. And I don't know how focused you are. Probably quite intensely focused on this at the moment, but Genka is staring at you and watching. Not that they can see what you can see, but they're watching you very closely. And you're able, as you kind of are able to kind of coax some of these edges together, almost like holds them together, two pieces of fabric. The stitching that you are able to figure out from that is a rune. It's a shape.
Lyre's gonna reach for a pen or a quill or whatever is nearby, and just, even if it's not on paper, he's just gonna draw it on the desk.
You're able to kind of scrub it down. And as your Detect Magic begins to kind of dull slightly and you're losing sight of those threads, you now have something.
Genka, have you seen this symbol before?
They stare at it. I'm going to roll for them a history check. If I can fucking find the history. Where is it? There it is. So they stare at it, I was never into the theory side of spellcasting.
Okay.
I was taught it, but I was never able to read runes or anything like that.
Detect magic gives me the ability to learn the school of magic from what I've drawn.
It doesn't have a school. It's non-specific, which there's only really two options for what that could be. That's either anti-magic, the antithesis of all magic, or it is Atrelia, wild magic.
Okay. Well, that's one piece done. Lyre's gonna... Because detect magic lasts an hour. How long did that take me to tether?
You were able to do that in maybe about 20 minutes.
Okay. Am I able to move over to the wild magic blood crystal and the dagger and begin to attempt to tether those two together?
Yeah. You're finding it a lot harder to tether something that is not magically inclined. And the dagger itself is not inherently magical.
It's a +1. Yeah, no.
It's sharpened. It's sharpened.
She's sharp. She's sharp.
So it's you're effectively trying to imbue something with your will, rather than it having a will of its own, which is difficult. I need you to make me an Arcana check.
Yeah. At advantage?
This time, no. It would have been at disadvantage, so you flat running.
That is 11 plus 8.
Was it +9 last time?
It's always been +8.
Oh, did I get it wrong last? Oh, okay. Yeah, it would have been a... Never mind. My maths is shit. So that's a 19.
Yeah.
It takes you quite a bit longer. As you are effectively trying to write magic into an object that has never experienced it, or it was never meant to experience the weave. Objects are not inherently tied to it like people are. You're effectively trying to thread the weave through it, through an empty space.
Kind of like how magic was weaved through me.
Yeah. It's weaving it through a gap to try and fill that gap. And it is finicky, and you drop threads, and it's frustrating. It takes a long time. You lose track of time. And whilst you are hard at work, Genka is busy sorting out things in the background, but you just don't really notice them. You're so hyper-focused on this process. After a little while, you lose the ability to see those threads, but you are still able to tell where they are. Almost like you've been staring at them for long enough, for about the last 40 minutes, while you still had the spell active, that you can tell where they are. Sometimes you pick up the wrong one, and you can tell. And you're just sort of almost like you are working on, what are they called? The big fucking weavers' mills, you know.
Oh yes,
you're effectively doing that.
A linen thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget what they're called.
I can't remember what they're called either. It's been about 2 hours. and you are starting to get a headache from how intensely you've been focused on this. Before you, it just feels like something clicks, and that wild magic symbol, this almost like alchemical symbol of tethering, non-specific tethering, appears on the hilt of the dagger.
Genka?
Sorry, I was having a cup of tea. Hello.
Hello.
Makes her way over.
Lyre's sort of just like, with his fingers above the dagger and the crystal and the fang, sort of just like, almost in memory, just like tracing over the ley lines that he was seeing. But he sort of points out the symbol that's burnt in now.
Huh. Did you do that?
Yes.
You're kind of looking at the table with what?
The ley lines between each item. I weaved the weave through the dagger so it could connect to the crystal, and now the crystal, the dagger, and the tooth are all connected. So connecting them together should be easier now.
I mean, great. I don't understand a word of what you just said, but you sound like 𝘞𝘰𝘮𝘭𝘥. God. And they kind of pinch the bridge of their nose. If it works, it works.
Lyre's gonna pick up the wild crystal and place it just on top of the dagger to see if it asphyxiates or holds, or if it does anything.
Doesn't it? It just kind of rolls back off onto the table.
Do you have a way of connecting, physically connecting pieces together for a magical item?
That's where I come in.
Okay.
You've effectively done the hard work. I can put it together.
I would very much like to watch and learn.
I've already got the forge fired up. Come on.
Okay.
And as they kind of bring you over, it's almost like a jewel crafter's table in front of the forge. They are a jewel crafting family. And they've got some very, very thin, beautifully made tools that they kind of hold in their hand. And as they flick it into the air, they flick the tool into the air, it changes into something else. And they grab hold of it.
That's cool.
𝘞𝘰𝘮𝘭𝘥 told me that one. And they begin to kind of effectively carve a dent into the hilt. It takes some time, but it's surprisingly well shaped. They effectively change the shape of the hilt in order to insert the crystal that you have without changing the shape of the crystal.
Okay.
They don't want to adjust it now that it's already tied. And they invite you to kind of help them with the soldering and trying to effectively attach this fang physically to the base of the blade. And again, maybe about another hour or two passes. Can you roll me at advantage a d20?
Which one do I use? Do you want me to roll in Foundry?
Foundry.
Oh, cool.
I'll do Foundry. That seems more fair. D20. Ah!
Neither of those were d20s. They were d100s.
D20.
Okay. So 17 and a 13. So 17. The DC for this was 16. So, well done. As Genka kind of pulls their goggles off, they pass to you this blade. And I will stick this item in your inventory. as you have been presented with the first of its kind. A blade that's able to siphon magic. And at this stage, not masses, but enough.
What's it look like, Toby?
The blade itself isn't much different to Zani's. There hasn't been many adjustments to the blade. The hilt has had most of the changes. It has a semi-serrated edge on one side, with a slight curve to the blade on its straight edge. The hilt sticks out slightly on one side that is wrapped in leathers and now gilded in gold, with a red crystal embedded into the handle, just above where it would sit in your hand. And then sticking off the bottom in an opposite curve to the blade is this one hell of a fucking fang that has effectively had a root canal and soldered onto the base of the dagger. It's had a bit of a touch up, aka it's been sharpened properly, so it's a little less dent sharpened and more actually a usable blade. It looks quite scary, honestly. It looks like quite a nasty fucking weapon.
Lyre is just going to admire it and then squeeze it tight and sort of hold it to his forehead. And just under his breath, if Genka hears it, he hears it, but Lyre's going to say, "This is the first step."
Well, the only way to see if it works is to test it in the field.
It might not do much now, but it will give me an idea of how I can improve it.
This is a prototype. We have a long way to go. Prototype is necessary. I don't know how well the metals are going to hold up against that kind of magic.
Well, I have another crystal. I can find a stronger weapon in the future if I need. Maybe, and I apologize, but if I can find a better fang, a stronger one, that might do better as well.
Doesn't necessarily have to be a vampire.
What other creatures draw life?
You watch as their face contorts. Roll me an insight check.
Inside check. Fuck, I'm not rolling half bad tonight. As a... Why is my thing not coming up? There's a 16 plus insight.
Yes.
4, so dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You can tell he's avoiding telling you something. As if a thought has crossed their minds, but they are now hesitating and putting it out in the open air.
Genka.
I mean, it's definitely not the only creature on Sif that draws life. Sinza is like a baby version of something that can do that.
What?
So, monstrosities in general. She's kind of... not quite. She's got monstrous tendencies.
Right.
That's not her fault. Whatever made her into that drew part of her out in order to put them in. Maybe whatever did that to her would have a stronger capsule for you to use.
Huh. That would be a conversation.
It's going to be one hell of a thing to deal with, and I have no idea where you'd fucking find something like that, but you know.
I don't know. That would be a conversation in the future with Sinza. That's a large boundary I feel like would be crossed if it wasn't brought up at least once. Look, have we informed you what we're going up against? Not just what I'm facing at the Conclave.
Not really. No,
You heard Ymir's whispers.
I did.
There are 4 entities that we are entwined with, I guess. I don't know their relation to each other, but maybe they're each other's weakness.
Maybe.
And
Oh,
if I could infuse a part of them into this in the future, if they truly are each other's weaknesses, maybe it could help.
use them against each other.
In a sense. But these are also very dark creatures. And I don't know what could come of that.
I'm for a handout to you to take the blade back to look at it for a moment.
He'll hand it over.
Kind of tilt it as they're looking at it in the glow of the fire. Where did you get this gem from?
It was in Sahanos.
It's Kaiden's blood, is it not?
It is.
I recognize the smell. And as they kind of flip the blade over, look it over, I have a feeling that rather than you imbuing this with parts of the things you want to destroy, you are already imbuing it with the parts of the people you want to protect. You have the blade. You have Kaiden, the energy.
I could rip a
You're
tooth out of
considering-
Sinza's mouth.
I wouldn't recommend doing that to Sinza. I don't think Sinza has enough magical capacity to make this better than it currently is.
I'm just trying to make light of a situation because I would love to imbue this with pieces of people that I love, but someone I loved left. They're gone now. And they left nothing behind. She abandoned all of us. There is no Ymir in this now.
As they open their mouth to say something, there's a knock. And their head kind of snaps. Sorry, give me a moment. And they kind of leave the forge and leave you there with the blade for a good couple of minutes. Before they come back, and they're holding something, and they've got this frown on their face. Someone from town delivered this. They said the person who gave it to them left in a hurry. I think I recognize it. And they pass it over to you. And it is Ymir's pauldron.
Ymir's pauldron, or
Ymir's pauldron. It's the piece of her dong hand that she took off and paid the guy to deliver it to you as she left. He places it on the table. Do you want a piece of her in here? I can smelt it down.
Lyre's gonna look at it for a while. Not now. I need to think and I need to talk to them. This siphon is a big deal, and with everything going on, I don't want anything to be hidden anymore. I need to talk to them first and see what they say.
Would you like me to keep this here?
No, I'll take it to the group.
Okay.
And then I'll rip out one of Sinza's teeth.
No, what did I say? Don't do that.
Sorry. That's how I sort of cope. I try to be funny.
Ripping teeth out? Oh, it's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke. Okay. Sorry, I'm not good at those.
Thank you for this. Not the pauldron.
Exhausted.
I have to be okay. I endangered Kaiden's family now, so I have to.
You don't. You don't have to be okay. And that's fine too. You have people who will help carry you while you are not okay.
I know they will. I just need to get through this next bit, and then I will let it all out. Because I need to. I know. Can I hug you?
Just open their arms.
Lyre embraces them with a really, really tight hug. Thank you, Genka, for helping me make this. And he'll pull back and just sort of look at them.
Don't abuse it, Mr. Lyre. I trust that you won't, but if I didn't trust that you wouldn't, then I wouldn't have made it.
I know why I get to decide. I know now. Because if I was put on this world without magic, to be the first to take it back, maybe I was put on this world to stop these four. I don't know if others have fought them before, but if they did when they hit them, they got back up. When I hit them, they will stay down.
Keep that fire burning, Mr. Lyre, but do not let it burn you.
He'll sort of let Genka go and wipe a tear. Haven't you heard? I'm very ambitious. And he'll turn and start walking out. And place the dagger under his cloak next to his rib.
You head off to get some rest. It's maybe about 4 a.m. by the time you're done. You are exhausted. But whether or not rest comes to you is going to be difficult. In this time, Sinza and Kaiden, you are still in the Divine Center. Or have you head back up to the city by this point?
I think Kaiden has maybe gone to the Sith statue while he was down there, just to kind of sit by it and meditate for a bit while kind of processing his own thoughts before seeing if Sinza's like ready to go while they've been down there.
I think Sinza wants to stay there, to be completely honest. She wants to just be in the company of this place. Sorry, I'm also very quiet today.
Seems that you remain in prayer. Maybe just in solitude. Maybe that's all you need right now. And Kaiden, as you kind of look up at the World Weaver from your meditative state, you can feel that hum in your chest. It's not as invasive as it was before. It's not as sharp and jarring. It's just kind of present. Almost like the tightness you get when you're looking at someone you love. It's not uncomfortable. It's almost like an excitement.
I think he'll stay there for a bit, kind of just get used to the feeling of it more before deciding just to kind of go out of this area and really head back up into the city.
By the time you reach the city again, it's maybe about 11 p.m. So it's quite quiet. If I can find the map for you. Oh, I've got so many maps. So you three, technically, I guess are down here. Well, Lyre wouldn't be, but you know what I mean. Lyre's somewhere. As you walk into the city, is there anywhere you're going particularly, or are you just kind of heading back to your room? What's going on?
I think he will start with heading back to his room, but he'll stop if he sees Oak.
I mean, Oak is at the residential quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So as you kind of begin to make your way back towards that area, you can see him sat under his tree.
I think he'll observe for a minute. Is he like meditating or just kind of just vibing?
He seems to be in meditation.
He's in meditation. Okay. Doesn't really bother meditating, but he wants to. I think Kaiden will kind of go to the edge of where he considers like the grove kind of barrier and kind of just sit down for a bit so that he doesn't intrude, because he feels like he'll be noticed. And we'll just kind of wait for that point.
Can you move your token to where you want him to be sat?
He'll probably be sat where, just on the edge where the grass becomes like thickest, but on the edge of that.
Okay. As you sit and kind of observe him, you can see a few kind of green, flickering, dancing lights are scattered amongst the leaves of the tree. Of the entire city, this is probably the greenest area there is. And the fact that it's growing as well as it is, Maya, with no direct sunlight, it's clearly being assisted in some capacity. And you watch for a few minutes as Oak is kind of muttering something to himself before his eyes open. And he looks in your direction.
Does he have any kind of like facial expression that indicates, I don't know, like if he's surprised or annoyed or anything? He just kind of wants to get a read of him first.
He seems almost questioning as he's looking at you. He's got kind of an eyebrow cocked, like, "What are you doing here?" But not in an aggressive manner. He's just kind of curious as to why you turned up.
Sorry, I didn't want to intrude your meditation. But
I wouldn't worry. Everyone fucking does.
Well, I try not to. Like, it's your grove.
I think you're the first person in about 150 years who has told me that this is my grove.
Really? I mean, it's like the only green place down here.
People didn't take kindly to druids when I became one.
Am I allowed to enter your grove?
Aye.
And he'll slowly get up and kind of walk over closer. I wanted to introduce myself before, but like I just didn't have. I was a bit busy. The stuff going on, but I haven't really met other druids other than a couple near me and my own conclave. I was wondering if the 𝘞𝘦𝘭𝘤𝘰 conclave.
Why, I visited there. Bale is there, right? That's where she decided.
Yeah, she made migraine, and he'll show migraine off.
Aye, that's Bale's work. And he kind of nods. She's doing well. That's good to know.
Yeah.
You ain't far you ain't a far traveler then. You haven't traveled particularly far to get here.
No, I mean most of my life I've been in the Drowy Green, so this is the first place I've been that's really far from it.
Really far. You kind of
far from me. I've really left that area. This might
you're
be
just a baby.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
I'm almost 200 years old. You're just a baby.
Oh fuck. Yeah. I mean, I'm only 20s, so.
Oh no, you're the fucking toddler. All right.
I don't want to come off with rude. I was wondering if maybe you could, I don't know, show me some, I don't know, help with some of the druid magic. And I'm not the best at it. I'm better at wacky stuff, but I want to get better at it.
He cocks an eyebrow. Roll me a persuasion check.
Okay. That's a natural one. I fucking hate that dice. For fuck's sake.
What do you mean I need to teach you? You're a druid.
Well, not need. I'm just I'm not good at explaining this stuff. Okay, so I could do magic, but it's a struggle. Like, I'll show you, and he'll take a step back to the edge of the grove. He doesn't want to mess up the grove. Just outside the edge, and he's gonna try and probably just cast a simple spell to try and trigger it. and try and trigger some kind of wild magic surge with the spell rather than getting angry. He's trying to focus on the magic itself. Probably cast, I don't know, absorb elements. Just that would do.
So as you kind of draw this magic into you to almost form this protective barrier in order to absorb any incoming elemental magic or damage, roll me a D100. Okay. 19. As your magic sets off, your wild magic suddenly begins to spark.
Oh no!
You conjure a bunch of flumps. Can you roll me a D4, please?
What's the distance he is from me?
Just. He's 38 feet. Too far.
Okay.
You're okay. You can't.
A
He
D4.
can't be exploded by
3.
a flump. So you conjure three flumps. These little, almost like, they look like jellyfish, kind of. Very small. Brightly coloured, they kind of glow as they kind of appear around you. And they're mostly bright pink from wild magic. And begin to kind of float off just away from you. You watch as Oak is just watching you like...
Oh, I've never seen this one happen before. I don't even know what these things are. Are they jellyfish?
And there is this almighty bang as all three of them explode in like a bright sort of puff of pink smoke and sparkles. And then Oak immediately kind of jumps out of his seating position.
I'm really sorry about that. I was just trying to like cast a defensive kind of spell, like to absorb energy, and that happens sometimes.
It just happens sometimes. Okay.
Well, not always that. Sometimes, like, my clothes disappear or, like, things blow up, you know. There was one time I blacked out and, like, I remember feeling, I don't know, it felt very earthy, like I was a plant. Yeah.
He's kind of looking at you. So what, you're a druid that doesn't know how to do... You don't know how to be a druid?
Well, just the magic side, like, I'm good with other stuff. I recently learned how to wild shape. I'm pretty happy with that. Even though sometimes it's random.
Flashbacks to the squirrel.
I have him ready.
No, I swear to God.
If needed.
If needed. Okay. Right, son. Come sit there.
He'll go sit down.
And this dwarf, you know, he's a big kind of white bushy beard, balding, wearing kind of green and brown leathers. Looks very different to the majority of the dwarves in this city. But you can see a resemblance of Carnelian, Heliodor's mother, in his face. And he kind of leans back on his palm. So your magic's wild.
Yeah, essentially. I didn't know much about it till recently.
You don't control it, clearly.
No.
Have you ever tried?
I've been trying for 20-ish years. It's been a long process.
He frowns again, and it seems like he's almost like trying to go through his brain to figure out how best to approach the situation. Before he kind of looks at you, and I need you to roll me an insight check.
Oh boy. These dice fuck me, it's hot. Okay. 11.
He just looks angry. Like, you don't know if he's angry, but he just looks angry. He's just frowning at you. You're Angus's boy.
Yeah. 𝘞𝘰𝘮𝘭𝘥.
Oh, fuck, you've grown up a lot. Okay. I'll remember when you were weenie wee.
You know my father?
Aye, he's visited a few times. Not in recent years.
No, he's in trouble, and
So you're the Watcher now?
no, I've only just been finding out what a Watcher is. I didn't know he was a Watcher.
Aye. There's a site quite close to your grove, from what I remember. It's been a while
The
since
big rock.
I left the city. It's certainly a big rock. I mean, you're not wrong. But that was his site, and then he was going to pass it on to you when you were old enough.
Wait, does my dad also have wild magic?
Yeah, kind of. Well, it certainly it was wild. He got it under control.
I didn't know. I mean, I thought he was dead since I was
Angus not teach
young.
you fucking anything.
I thought he was dead for most of my life.
Oh. And I think Oak kind of realizes, oh, oops, yikes, as he kind of stares at the floor. Well, that hope he isn't. He fucking owes me. Okay, so what, he never told you were going to be a Watcher?
But I didn't know anything about it, and I only just found out that some hags got him.
Oh, shite. Hag. Okay. Okay, here's the deal, big man. I'm gonna teach you what I taught your dad.
Oh, okay.
It's not much, because I'm not a Watcher, but I know how to do it. Have you heard of wild runes?
A little bit. What my friend Lyre knows a lot about runes. He's trying to show me.
Okay, great. So you've got somebody you know who's able to help you with that?
Kind of. I mean, he's good with magic. I've seen him with rune stuff recently more, so I'm not too sure.
Okay. You can tell that, like, the way he's talking to you, he's like, oh, they've got to talk slow in order for it to come across. He's like, okay, sure, all right.
I know what you're saying. I'm just bad at like explaining myself.
You got that from him. Okay. So, alright. Well, I know one wild rune, but I do know there are other druids out there who can teach you more than I can. You just gotta find them, I guess. I don't know what the fuck they are.
Do you know any of their names?
No.
Sure.
It might be a case of you go to a grove and go, anyone know how to do wild magic, and see what happens.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind if I find some other groves.
Maybe you'll find another watcher.
Maybe.
Yeah, they're not exactly common at all. So you know, it's a needle in a haystack. As he kind of stands up, and encourages you to get up with him. He takes you out into kind of the open grass of the grove, and begins to explain to you a series of almost like magical theory, starting from the ground up, of different runes, different lines, what angles of certain lines do to magic. And with wild magic, you're effectively trying to take this and pinpoint it. So he's trying to teach you how to pinpoint this magic, and shows you a sigil that you haven't seen before, but you feel like you should know. Like there's something that draws you to it as you look at it. Now, I don't know how much you mind you looking like an idiot, because to me, you're going to look completely fine, but to everyone else in the city, you might look a little bit batshit. There's a series of movements to do to encourage magic to generate within a specific space. So I'm going to try and draw this rune out. You're going to follow each point and do the movements that I show you how to do, and we'll see how it goes. Okay?
Yeah, I can do that.
So he draws out this rune, and at each point he teaches you kind of a different pose. And it takes some time, you know, you're stood there practicing these poses until you know them without him having to show them. And then he kind of takes a step back and goes, all right, your turn. Kaiden, I need you to roll me an Arcana check.
Oh no! That's pretty good. What's my minus? It's a 15.
15. That's better than I was expecting from you. Kaiden's Arcana's not fantastic, so...
Yeah, Kaiden hears that a lot.
Oh, honey.
Better than expected.
Better than expected.
I'm very proud of you, Kaiden. That's...
The Wildron made Lyre disappear.
As you
I clicked the wrong button.
begin this process, you take kind of step by step, you're kind of passing across the edges of this room, and the ground underneath you begins to change color. There is this pink light. And as you reach the center, you kind of almost like put your fists together in a semi kind of low squat. Weeds and vines begin to just grow out of the ground underneath your feet. Quite a large surface area, maybe about 20 feet like around you. and they're almost like grasping at the air, as this magic is flowing through them. Like there's almost like veins of pink growing up these vines as you are forcing them, bending 𝘏𝘪𝘨 to your will. And from the outskirts of this space, Oak is kind of watching with his hand in his beard. I wasn't expecting it to be that easy. It took 𝘏𝘪𝘨 like 2 months to learn that.
Oh, I've never gotten like magic first go before.
That rune means stasis. Anything steps in there, it's not fucking moving.
Oh.
So while you're focused on it, it should only last for about a minute. You forcing that to work, but while you're concentrating on it, it'll last.
While Kaiden is concentrating, can he see if there's any like, I don't know, bugs or any kind of creature that kind of moves into the space just to see its effect?
You see a couple of beetles that have kind of been making their way across the grass, and as they make it into the circle space, this kind of radius around you, it's strange. You swear that beetle didn't have a horn, and suddenly it does, and its body changes color, and its wings get longer. Its legs get slightly shorter, and it's just almost like wild magic is changing its form because it's not meant to be there. I mean, it doesn't seem bothered. It just kind of keeps bimbling.
Okay. It doesn't like slow or anything.
It doesn't seem like the 𝘏𝘪𝘨 that you're forcing through it sees that as a threat.
So it's what it sees as a threat. Okay.
So it's any creature of your choice that enters that radius.
Okay. I think
So you don't see a beetle as a threat. The beetle's fine.
Yeah.
It's just getting a bit screwed over by the wild magic.
He'll slowly just let the concentration go. Just hold it to get the feeling of it, and then just instead of just releasing, just a slow release of the magic.
So you figure that with a bit of practice, figuring out these kind of patterns and whatnot, you'd be able to do this pretty quickly.
Okay.
Looking at maybe an action in combat, if you wanted to. But Oak kind of puts his hands on his hips. That's your first wild rune. Now you got to go find the rest of them. I will add it to your inventory / your spell list.
I think Kaiden he's feeling a mix because like he has this moment of like just ecstatic, kind of like he's feeling really just happy and ecstatic for a moment. But then just at the back of his mind, Ymir just keeps playing on his mind, and like it kind of falters a bit. His hand begins to just shake. And he kind of just catches himself for the moment, take a deep breath, and kind of level himself emotionally for a minute.
Look, big man, channeling that kind of magic is not. It's not good in the mortal body to do too often. Okay, so don't get yourself, fucked up over it. Okay, just if you need to take a rest.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot happened. With other stuff recently. I know you know my father. And I've been kind of in a rush to get better.
There's been the druids in there that know more than I do.
Yeah. Well, probably see if I can find them, but I know my conclave is probably going to be attacked soon, and I'm just having a hard time.
You want to clear your head a bit.
Yeah, I just want to clear my head a bit.
And I'll kind of gesture to you. Come and sit by the tree. Encourages you to just sit and meditate and rest. And it doesn't take long for it to feel like home. You feel that innate connection to a breeze. And even though it's a one-man druid grove, which is not common, he's the only druid in the city. He's maintained it well, and you can tell that it's well loved. And so by being there, you feel that embrace, you feel her presence. And you spend a good few hours there just sort of in gentle conversation and resting.
Mm-hmm.
Any sort of anxieties, Oak's not particularly great at comfort, but he tries. You can tell he's not the most sociable of druids. Probably because he was ostracized quite a bit.
I think Kaiden will enjoy just the conversation, and then in quiet moments just kind of let that anxiety out into the air and kind of focus his presence into trying to feel the nature around him, like the roots in the ground, everything, all the tiny little creatures around, just seeing if he can notice them and expand like his awareness across the grove, like sensing all the rocks and different plants and water, and just kind of stay in that state for a while and get used to like connecting with the earth and magic around him. Can he get an idea for what kind of specialization this grove feels like to him? Because all the groves are a bit different. He's been to different groves, and he knows the 𝘞𝘭𝘭�12 Conclave is very like contacting with fey spirits and creatures and animals, and the Voiceless is very different with its lack of life in its grove.
Yeah. You get the gist that Oak is a circle of shepherds.
Oh, okay.
Druid. So you kind of get the gist that he is the shepherd of this land, of this area, and he maintains the greenery of this city. And it is appreciated, maybe not as much as it should be, but it is.
So it's the same type of circle as Kaiden.
Yeah. It's a protective circle. Feels like home. That's probably why you feel as comfortable as you do here, because it is a very similar kind of energy.
I think he'll spend some more time, and then when he's ready, he'll finish up his meditating conversation, and he will. He has. Would he have any honey left?
Maybe like a scoop,
Okay.
a small scoopful.
Okay. He'll leave the jar he has left, and he'll take one of his rocks from his collection. One he probably has like another version of, but he'll kind of leave the rock on the ground in the grove, and leave the honey, the oak, in the jar. Kind of stretch, get up. But a don't think thank you's enough, but thank you for the help and guidance today and allowing me in your grove. It's very similar to home. I hope more people come to appreciate it in the city.
It's nice to have good company. It's a bit of a rarity here sometimes, so
I'll try and come back when I can, but I'll be leaving the city very soon. But thank you for having me here. And he'll put his hand out just to shake his hand.
he does so. His hand is quite a bit smaller than yours. As he kind of shakes it. Tell Yada he still owes me those mushrooms.
I'll let him know.
Ta. It's been like 20 years.
I'll remind him just in case.
He kind of nods curtly. And goes back to kind of tending the grove, as it seems that he does quite regularly. As you begin to make your way back to the residential.
Okay.
Sinza, at maybe about 3:30, it's early in the morning when you begin to head back to the residential place. You see Lyre on the path as he is walking back the same direction as you. And he looks exhausted, but he's on his way back.
Sinza, she's just like kind of making her way, and just in the corner of her eye, spots him. And she just quickens her pace to match his, and then just walks up beside him. She doesn't say anything. She's just kind of assessing his energy.
Yes.
She's just looking forward. Hi. I know I'm terrifying.
No. It's been a long night. Sorry.
You're fine. You don't have to apologize. How'd you go?
Hold out your hand.
You know, I've fallen for that trick before.
Hold out your hand. He'll place the siphon in hand.
How big is it? Sorry.
Like it's.
Tell me
it's
when.
A size dagger.
Yeah, tell me when.
Tell me when.
Okay, enough.
That's enough sizes.
Jesus.
It's a decent sized,
Slightly above average.
handed weapon. It's a decent sized dagger.
Uh-huh.
You immediately recognize it as Zani's.
Sinza spins the average sized dagger in her hand.
Slightly above.
Slightly above average. And she looks it over. Does it work?
I think so. It has this is a prototype. It's the first draft, if you will. It doesn't have the capabilities of severing someone from the weave, but I think I can draw out their magic and give it to myself if I need it in battle.
I thought you'd discussed with Genka storing it for later use.
In the future, maybe. Right now, I just need something to give me a bit of an edge to face this executioner. Of maybe draining his magic.
Well, what if warped, though? What Genka had warned us all of. I don't know a lot about magic. I'm not super magically inclined, but he'd mentioned trying to put magic into someone who doesn't have the capacity. I'm not saying you're not strong,
No,
Lyre,
no.
but this is just...
You're talking about magicocitosis, I believe it's pronounced.
Mhm.
And that is funneling too much magic into someone at one time, causing them to become sick and overwhelmed. Warp is different. It's a parasite.
Okay.
I know your lore, Toby, don't worry. Drink your
That's
monster.
very
You're
lore.
so pretty.
Okay. Well, if you're inserting or putting the magic of something that's stronger into you, I guess you're not going to know until you do it.
I don't think I'm going to be able to draw strong magic right now.
Hmm.
This is just beginning stages. If I feel tapped, for example, if I feel as though I've expended my magical use in the day, I can draw a small portion of someone else's and use it. That's the goal with this
Can I
prototype.
be honest with you, Lyre?
Yeah.
Sinza holding the dagger in her hand, she's just looking it over and she gestures it back to you to just put in your hand. I feel weird about all of this. I don't exactly agree with it. I just, again, want to make sure your morals are in the right place for this. I don't think it's good to be drawing magic from people that were gifted it.
You asked me before I completed this weapon, this siphon, my siphon, to have a reason as to why I believed I got to choose. And I'm not going to lie to you. The reason will sound self-absorbed and modest and maybe ridiculous, but since I came from no magic, I was ignored by Asus. And for so many years, I thought it was because I wasn't worthy. On this journey, I have learned I am more worthy than many.
And is that your own opinion?
Yes,
It's a strong opinion to have.
but it's an honest one. The reason I think that is because I don't think Asus ignored me.
I think he feared what you would become, Lyre.
I think you're right. And part of me would be worried about that. But then I think back to the top of that mountain. I think back to Heliodor. And I think back to the World Weaver. I reached out to her. I didn't reach out to a god. I didn't reach out to an entity. I reached out to the Weave. I asked the Weave if I was worthy. And it said yes. This siphon is dangerous, and I know that. But the only people, the only things I intend to use it on are those who threaten this world in a way I never thought possible. This is a prototype. This is the beginning of something. And Gengar opened my eyes to something. I thought if I could infuse things with it, powerful things, unimaginable magical items, I could become stronger. Part of that is true. I want to imbue it with things I love, things I want to protect and care for, so that it gives me strength to wield. And I still want to become a god. But I don't think I was meant to take the place of one that already exists. Tonight, Gengar and I created something new. Something unheard of. The first of its kind. And I think that's what I am too.
Threading your own weave to magic. Creating siphons. It's all becoming very political very quickly. People are going to have opinions on this, especially the White Wolf.
I know.
Take my opinion as one example on this. Not everyone is going to agree with this and what you're doing.
I know. Many people haven't from the start.
Just be careful, Lyre. With this.
I will do my best. And respectfully, I will ask you again. Stop trying to fix me when you need to look after yourself.
I'm not trying to fix you, Lyre. I'm trying to warn you. You're playing with powerful stuff here.
I know. I'm not taking this lightly, Sinza. I'm not ignoring it. I'm not pretending this isn't something that could change the world.
It can, Lyre. It will change the world.
I know.
Drawing magic from people will change the world.
I know.
I have nothing else to say.
As the two of you walk inside, you can hear Kaiden snoring from his room as you make your way into the accommodation. And there's this dissonance, this cognitive dissonance of looking at Ymir's open, empty room for just a moment before the two of you part ways to your own rooms to rest.
Before we do, as Lyre and Sinza are on opposite ends of the table, Lyre's going to go, Sinza, Ymir left this for us. And he throws the pauldron on the table.
You just throw it on the table?
Mm-hmm. I don't know what it means. But I'm
You
tired.
think she's gone?
Let's go bed.
He's going to go bed. And with that, we're going to take a break. So we'll be back in
Damn, break time
10,
already.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll see you in a little bit.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So, the morning rolls around. If you haven't taken a long rest, you feel free to do so.
Thank God.
I will say, Kaiden probably talked to the merchant in the evening before sleeping.
So I learned how to do this cool rune light, and it was really cool. Do you know Oak? He's really nice though.
You know, also, I didn't tell you about Ymir, and he starts crying.
Oh, buddy.
Oh.
The merchant's just listening, like,
The merchant's
uh-huh.
like, why did I give this idiot a direct communication to me? Why did I do this? So the morning comes around, and the three of you wake up relatively late, given that it's you went to bed pretty late. So in order for you to get a decent amount of rest, it's about midday by the time you guys are up and about and functional. The morning is yours, or the midday. What are you guys doing?
Sinza probably woke up a little bit earlier than she anticipated and is just sitting at the table. She's been made herself a cup of tea, and she's got that coin from the merchant, and she's just like, doing the cool coin trick up and down her talons. Just kind of back and forth with it, just eyeing it, waiting for the others to come downstairs. Just keeping a close eye on Ymir's poultry on the table also.
I think Kaiden will eventually wake up and join. He's very hungry. His stomach's rumbling.
The food in your pantry has been restocked while you were away.
Kaiden's about to eat all of it.
He probably will eat all of it. He's very hungry.
Lyre, what are you doing when you get up?
Lyre will probably have packed a bag and just walk out.
You kind of settle by the table, watching Kaiden shove another, almost like honey bun into his mouth, just like
breathe between bites.
Mm. Mm.
So what's the plan? Have you all finished your business here?
I'm ready to
Yeah.
go when you guys are.
I'm ready. Yeah. Cool.
Should we let Genka know that we're leaving?
Yeah, I think so.
Was Genka coming with us?
No. He mentioned yesterday that he would not be joining us on this expedition.
Okay.
He will connect with us when we get back.
Do we?
All of you roll me an Arcana check.
Seven.
23.
2. Okay, 7 and 2. Neither of you notice anything or think anything out of the ordinary whilst you're kind of talking about when you get back. Lyre, you know that because you know this city now, using the teleport coin should be easier to get back here. So if in a week's time when it has recharged, you are ready to return to the city if that's where you want to go rather than going somewhere else, because this area is now familiar to you, it should be easier for you to do so.
If we take something from here as well, it makes life 10 times easier, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So Lyre will look around. So he'll go into his room and he'll grab one of the rocks next to the jacuzzi.
You also have the rock that was given to Kaiden.
But that's his special rock. I don't want to worry him.
Take that from him. Yeah, he's
I don't
going
wanna
to
worry.
to
Who's
take it from
using the
him.
coin?
This is true, but it's also Kaiden. So I don't want him to have an intrusive thought just as we're about to teleport. So
I mean, that'd be really funny.
but yeah, I'll grab a rock from next to the bath in one of the rooms.
Okay.
Wrap it in a napkin and label City of Violet Gold.
Are you leaving a note for Genka, or are you finding them? Because at this time, they're probably asleep.
Where's we're near the World Weaver, aren't we? Is Thran like out the front? Can we see him from here?
If you travel outside, you make your way out of the residence and into the city, and once again, the city is kind of alive and awake, and you can smell things from the market district, and it's cheery. It's quite pleasant. And yes, stood outside the front of the kind of the plateau where the World Weaver's statue is placed, holding up the council chamber. You can see Thran and a couple of other soldiers who are just kind of talking amongst themselves. They're in their usual kind of regalia. And Thran smiles to you as you make your way over. Good morning.
Thran, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, actually. We are, since y'all dealt with the shit the other night.
Yes.
Genka told me that was you. Don't worry, I'm not going to arrest you for murder. They were wanted dead or alive, and they're dead. Most of them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, definitely not. Don't. I'm good. How are you?
Good. We need you to relay a message to Genka once they awake. I'm sorry. I'm
sorry.
The side chat just caught my attention. Lab, cut here. Lab, please.
Please cut this.
Nope.
Oh.
Flint and steel.
Don't stop. Oh, God. Don't stop. All right.
Sorry. Back to it, Toby. Me and you, right here. Come and lock in. Thran, we need you to send a message to Genka once they arise. We are leaving today in a few minutes.
Oh, shite. Okay. Yeah, I can leave a message to the Duke. Or just letting them know that you're leaving.
We're leaving today, and we will be back at some point. I will update them more as I learn information.
Sounds good. Okay. Yeah, I can do that for you.
Thank you, Thran.
Have a safe travel. If you don't have a car, I'd recommend it. If you're traveling on foot, it's a bit rocky around here.
We're pretty quick.
Okay. Well, like running?
Kind of.
Okay. And he kind of just frowns and looks at you like, huh?
Have a good day, Thran. I'll turn around and... Sinza, we good? Let's go.
Who's using the coin? Sinza. Okay. So you find a good open space. You're relatively nearby, Thran, and Thran's just
can we do it? Can we please do it in front of Thran?
Yeah, what we're doing in front of him.
So you've got enough of a space for you to be able to perform this right. And do you hold the coin and think about the Conclave? And you think about Iris. You think about Zani. And you think about Baylor. You think about the people you are going home to. Roll me a D100.
Let's go, Sinza. Let's go, Apollo.
Can't believe he skadooshed in front of our fucking door.
Dude, straight up skadooshed.
I'm so mad. I was like, what was that fucking cat noise? And I just hear...
Well, see, I look over
call
and
you red-handed motherfucker!
See, I look over and I see you guys going like, what the fuck is fucking...
He's not even won yet.
Okay, great. 77. So because this place is familiar to you, and you have an aspect of this place on your person, you have Iris's horn caps.
I gave that to the merchant.
You still have one. You
Okay.
gave the earring, but you still have some of the caps that she gave.
We also have a
Okay.
Kaiden, so let's just grab
Yeah,
him.
I was born
So-
there. Like,
Yeah,
everything
I
on me
bear hug
comes from that
Kaiden.
place.
Yeah. You had to roll lower than a 25 to fail this, so you did fine. So you, as you kind of focus on this place, you can feel the thrum, like a vibrating between your hands as the coin begins to ignite. And you flick it off the top of your finger, and as it floats up, it kind of hits the floor underneath you, carves this sigil into the stone. A spell circle wide enough to encapsulate the three of you. And you're all suddenly thump jolted. It's almost like you've blinked or been in an elevator that has come to a very abrupt stop. Like it's just like this jolt. And the air changes almost instantly, and suddenly you're breathing in kind of the moisture of the jungle. You can smell flowers, you can hear birds, and you're stood outside the Conclave. You're on the borders of the Conclave. Let me pull up the map for you.
Can I just say, Sinza throws up.
Yeah, it's
She's
just
ever
jarring
traveled like that
experience.
before.
Aiden's gonna like, you know, when you go to throw up, where you just kind of like holding your stomach, you're like, oh, it doesn't throw up, it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that felt horrible. My stomach's really rumbling now.
Lyre's used teleportation magic
Rumbling.
before. He's okay. Rumbling.
His stomach's rumbling. I got the health points. If you want to deal that damage, I'll take it.
We're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love
see.
the flashy lights on her tokens,
Oh.
Toby. They look really cool.
Oh, it's so pretty.
You're muted, Toby.
The first thing you notice is that the entire conclave is surrounded by almost this barrier. You're inside it. It's got this almost translucent, almost looks like a mist that has descended in a bubble over the top of the grove. As you step in, you can see a variety of people running around. There are two druids on watch that kind of almost like jump and pull up their weapons as you suddenly appear in front of them. And they're like,
Wait,
and you
wait, Steve.
wait.
Oh, sorry.
Kaiden
I've never teleported
And they recognize you, kind of put the weapons down. It is hectic. People are running around, setting up almost barricades, like barricading doors, trying to make sure that the houses are protected. You can see kind of people are moving around, moving food around. It's busy here. And immediately kind of near the center tree of this grove, you see Iris talking to a very tall figure, dressed in sort of leathers and furs / leaves / something else. You're not quite sure. Jade, can you please describe what Duncan looks like to the party?
You would see this 7'4" Simic looking figure who just towers over a lot of people. The best way to describe him is that he is as blue as the sea and as big as the tide. He has this sort of like permanent sort of grin on his face. He has salt and pepper hair, his hair parted to one side, and he has this sort of like large harpoon gun that he uses to stretch a little bit, just sort of over his shoulders, sort of like stretching around as he's listening in. Yeah, he's just a dude.
So, the three of you, as you begin to kind of settle, you see Iris kind of turn her head in your direction. And she immediately smiles, but it's half-hearted. She's clearly quite stressed, and kind of beckons for you to come over. Make your way
Kaiden will go over, kind of stumble on the way. He's like he's got vertigo. He's like, and he's like, okay, no, I'm good.
It's good to see you.
Yeah,
You arrived faster than I was expecting. Are you okay?
we teleported. Sorry, I'm still gathering my thoughts. What's happening?
Mr. Duncan, this is my brother, Kaiden.
Hi there. A pleasure to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you. Bad time for a visit. Well, sorry, what's going on?
We're locking down the grove.
Okay. Has anything happened
Sorry,
since I got in
I'm
contact?
picking up his accent. I'm picking up his accent. I'm so used to talking to him. He sort of turned up unexpectedly, but his help is welcome. And he's another druid from far south. Where did you say you were from?
Far? Pretty far. Well, he sort of looks around. I've never been this far inland before, so just far. Let's just go with that. Used to more.
Far's fine. But, as another druid, we're not going to say no to the help. RV's kind of pushing himself to his limits at this point.
Is he like dealing with barrier?
Yeah, that's his remit. But it's taking a lot of his focus. He's struggling a little, but it would be easier if I could help him. But with Mother being not well, I've been put in charge of making sure that things are happening. You can tell, like, the look on her face. She's been through the rigor the last couple of days of her trying to micromanage the entire grove with panicked civilians, that she doesn't quite know how to handle this right now.
If you need any help, any support, I'm here.
We don't know when this potential attack is going to happen.
I don't know.
We don't know much. We know that this executioner was to the south at 𝘞𝘭𝘭𝘮. Was it about a week ago now, Toby?
Last he was seen about that. You do not know how fast or far he can travel.
Yeah. It was about a week ago he was last seen at 𝘞𝘭𝘭𝘮 that we know of. He's a hunter, so I don't know how fast he travels.
Zani's been scouting to see if there's been any weird tracks. She went out with Mr. Duncan here. He's also very good at tracing things. He was just about to give me his report, actually, when he came back, and Zani has decided to just fuck off somewhere else, which seems about right for her at the moment.
I would bring Zani back here.
I'll send for her.
Sinza
And
just
she
puts her
kind of-
hand on Iris's shoulder, just as like, she just kind of thumbs over it just to try and calm her a little bit, seeing how anxious she is.
She leans into it. She's clearly like wants to embrace that, but she's got too much on her plate. She sends for one of the other druids to go and find Zani. Mr. Duncan, if you could start the report and tell them what you know, that would be great.
Right. So, hi there. A pleasure to meet all of you again. I've been sent here by a certain Fae of Dreams to sort of track down an anomaly that has been sort of picking up. It's led me to over here. I've tracked down the creature, probably a wyvern in nature, large clawed feet. But it isn't native to this environment, or at least last I checked. But the strangest thing is, the dirt and the surrounding flora has been stripped of its color. The astral sea has left its gentle, wispy tethers in these areas. There's traces of the sea's magic here. Anti-magic. Warp.
Do you know what this non-native wyvern looks like?
Haven't seen it yet, but I've been collecting clues. Sort of haven't been able to do much with this and that.
Okay, King's going to show the map. He has and point to the area. Is it probably this area that's in?
Where are you? So as you
point to arsehole's domain.
You're pointing at arsehole's domain. No, it's Duncan explains to you that it is it's in the area near the Voices Grove.
Are you... Sorry. Hi, I'm Sinza. Are you here about stuff going on with... Is it 𝘏𝘪?
Yes.
And you said there's a wyvern?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, also, I'm sorry, one more thing. You also mentioned you were sent here by a Fae of Dreams?
Yes, 𝘏𝘪.
Huh.
I've had dealings with her before. It's fine.
So you're like a bounty hunter, or like
no,
tracker, or
no. I like to consider myself well, sometimes I'm a fisherman, but for now I'm a freelancer, a druid that's here to offer a helping hand. I can multitask.
Okay.
You seem... I saw you before. Are you okay?
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
You were just
kinda...
puking outside.
This is just wipes the side of my mouth, like, yeah, I'm fine. I haven't done the teleportation thing before, so it shook me a little bit, and we've got a couple things going on at the moment, so sorry if our crew is a little frazzled. That's Lyre and Kaiden, and I'm Sinza.
Pleasure to meet you again. Well, in this instance.
Pleasure.
Honestly, we can use all the help we can get. And at this point, you see kind of curl round one of the corners a very familiar, scaly-looking Naga, who grins so wide that her face kind of unhinges slightly, as snakes do. She kind of snakes her way over to you. Hello! I thought you would come back at some point. Hello.
Give him a big ball hug.
Big hug. Did you bring me back any presents?
I was kind of in a rush.
That is okay. I'm still mad, but it is okay.
I'll get you something when it comes back next time. I'll give you a rock.
I love rocks.
What rocks did he get? I think he got some other little rocks on the way.
He got some limestone from the mountain.
He'll get some limestone, give it to her, and explain where he got it from in the area.
This is so exciting.
Yeah.
And she eats it.
Oh, okay.
Ah. It tastes chalky.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know if that's safe.
Yeah, don't eat it.
Yeah. No, that's a bit like, I did try it myself, but I just didn't swallow it.
Yeah, I would not.
It might make your stomach rumble a bit, like if you swallow it.
Hello again, Mr. Duncan.
Hello there.
And Sunny kind of immediately makes her way over to you. You've been out on this scouting mission with her, so you're starting to get somewhat used to her antics. She is not quite as tall as you. She's almost as broad as you, because she's built like a fucking tank. And she kind of waves at Iris, and Iris kind of gives her kind of an awkward hi Sunny. Back. So, everything has gone to the shits.
Shit.
Have you seen anything then?
See, somebody appreciates my humor.
So did you see anything while you two were scouting, or what's the play situation?
There were like big claw prints, and Mr. Duncan says that this is like a wyvern, but not like the ones that we have in the Drow Green. So it is not like native.
Okay.
Which is worrying, because that means that like maybe something flew down from the ring.
The ring?
Sometimes like I mean, I don't know, but you know, they say that they have like dragons on the ring.
Oh.
So I don't know. Maybe it is a dragon, maybe it is like something else, but it was really, really big, and like the claws were really big. Like it could crush Mr. Lyre's head. Kind of big. Hello, Mr. Lyre. It is so good to see you again.
Hello, Sunny. How are you? And Lyre will go in and give her a big hug.
Big hug. I'm really good, mostly. Other than, you know, like everything has gone to the shits.
You have no idea.
I've been doing a lot while you were gone. Because, like, we've had to protect the village a few times from, like, the creatures around here are starting to get a bit weird and wacky. And all of the color is going out of the leaves.
Right.
Oh, shit.
So where the claw prints were, all of the color is gone from, like, the leaves around it. And the voiceless grove has gotten bigger.
Shit. Toby. So I was going to ask a DM question. Sorry, Toby.
Yeah.
Svarli is in the Voiceless Grove. That's her domain, correct? In that region?
That's the domain, yeah.
And it's expanding.
So the colorless nature of the grove is beginning to broaden.
And Svarli can only walk around in her domain, can't she?
They can only visit in their own domain.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Doesn't mean they can't send people out.
Oh, I know, but yep.
Zani, have you tracked anywhere near the Voiceless Grove at all? Have you seen their followers or anything?
Mr. Duncan, did you say any? Because I don't remember seeing any.
Not to my memory.
No, I do not remember seeing any people.
Okay. That may be an issue to look into. I think the main thing we need to be thinking about at the moment is keeping this place fortified. Sinza's going to turn to Iris. What can we do to help?
Just make sure that people are comfortable and safe. We've done most of the heavy lifting. It's just maintaining this barrier. We don't really know what we're going up against.
I could see if I could help Avi. Maybe take some of the weight off of him.
If you could, that would be fantastic.
Where is he?
Just behind her and sat in front of the tree is Avi. He's got his forearms are all actively kind of doing things in the air, as if he is consistently writing runes over and over and over in order to perpetuate the effects of this magic. But you can see like his fingers are shaking. He's been doing this for quite some time.
Okay. Sinza, I'm gonna help keep this barrier up. If you need me, come get me.
You're fine. Do what you need to do.
Lyre's gonna walk over and sit down next to Avi and slam his trident face down into the ground in front of him and just sort of grab onto it and reach out and grab behind Avi's neck and just say, tell me what you need to do, what I need to do.
I need as much magic as you have.
Lyre will start funneling magic through him and his trident and putting it into Avi.
Take away all of your first level spell slots.
Done.
As you are perpetuating this for Avi, what are the rest of you doing?
I'm just going to ask Iris. I want to ask about the other groves in the area. Like, have we heard anything from Fortunes, the Order, or anything? Any other groves?
Fortune's been quiet. Quieter than normal. We haven't sent out anyone just yet, because we can't risk sending somebody out and them not coming back right now. Once this has passed, we'll send out an envoy, but for the time being, we don't know. We've been cut off. And part of me is wondering if that's what this executioner wants.
Possibly. I just don't like standing around waiting. Is there anything else that's happened since I contacted Mother?
Not since, no. She told me that you spoke to her. She's been in bed for quite some time. I think it might be good for you to go and talk to her.
I'm gonna go see her while I can.
Sinza and Duncan, what are you two doing?
Is everyone going to disperse? Sinza just looks sidelong at Duncan. Can I help you with something in particular that you've been doing? Duncan.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Can I help you with something that you've been doing for the Grove? God, someone.
You've mostly just been you effectively got here like maybe a couple of hours ago. So you went out on that scouting and came back. In terms of helping out, there are sort of people moving barricades around, bits and bobs. If you want to help with that, you can. If there's anyone you want to talk to, you can also do that. But it seems for the most part, it's just kind of like helping batten down the hatches for the time being.
Okay. Duncan will look around again, just sort of seeing everything. I'll just sort of look Sinza over and just not assume. Can you live?
She just blinks at you.
Right. Then follow me, trouble. And he's gonna go find some people help out lift stuff.
Sinza is like, trouble? What do you mean trouble?
I mean-
Follows after Duncan. Yeah.
Trouble.
What you want?
Trouble? What do you mean trouble?
Kaiden, as you make your way into Sorcerer's house, there are a lot of candles kind of lit. It's not well lit in here other than sort of the firelight. And you can see in her bed is your mother with her stick kind of pressed up against the wall. And she tilts her head as you walk in.
He'll just kind of like go and kneel down next to her.
What was the world outside like?
It was bigger than I thought. It was amazing. It's I don't know, horizons I've never seen, environments I've never seen, and there's still so much more of it. How are you holding up?
She kind of leans her head back into the pillow, looks up at the ceiling. I'm getting old, Kaiden. I've been getting old for quite some time. That's how aging works. I'm okay. I'm comfortable. I'm home. And now you're home too.
I don't want to lose you again.
She takes your hand, kisses your knuckles. It's okay. You know that no matter how far you travel, you will always have home here.
Yeah, I know that. I know I've been stupid and stubborn for years. And I missed out so much time with you and Iris and the crew. I don't want to waste any more of it.
Time doesn't matter, Kaiden. Time is relative. The time I got to spend with you was always the best. She tucks some of your hair kind of out of your face. You look so much like your father. It makes me sad to see you sad.
On a better note, I mean, I'm getting better at magic. I met another druid. They taught me a wild rune. They knew Dad.
Don't listen to anyone who says you're not enough, Kaiden. Because you are. You're going to prove everyone wrong. I know it.
I know. I will.
At this point, Iris walks in as well. And she comes and sits next to you. She places a hand on your shoulder. And she's got an expression on her face you can read as her sibling of she's trying to be the strong one. She's trying to be the big older sister. But her lips quivering.
I'll pull her into a hug.
She hugs you back quite tightly. You know, for a long time, your father told me that he wanted Kaiden to be the Archdruid. And there was protest. Not from me, but there was protest. I think you'd make a fine Archdruid, Kaiden. You know how to protect people. It's not about how much magic you have, it's about how much you care. And you care very much. Maybe as a far traveler, you'll set up your own grove.
Maybe, but my heart's always here.
It always will be. She takes something off of her neck. It's kind of a string of fangs, leaves, flowers. The flowers have been petrified, so they don't wilt. She kind of ties it around your neck. And she's struggling to tie it. Like her fingers aren't quite working.
I'll kind of like gently take over and tie it.
And now you'll have a little bit of me wherever you go. I love you both very much.
I love you too.
See the world for me, Kaiden.
I will.
She again kind of holds your hand, and her grip's getting weaker. Iris kind of raises a hand as if she's going to do something, like some kind of magic, and then just places it back down on the bed. She just shakes her head. Mother, I'm not ready to run this grove without you. Yes, you are. You have been for a long time. And I think at that point, Iris starts kind of welling up. And her hand reaches over to hold yours, Kaiden. She doesn't seem to know what to do.
Just kind of hold her hand.
In the quietness of this room, 𝘏𝘪 departs with a breeze in the company of her kids. You were at least there to see her go. And it's peaceful and calm, comfortable. And the words kind of ring with you as you watch her gently rest into the bed. As her muscles relax. Of see the world for me, Kaiden. And Iris hugs you tightly. I didn't want to make her stay.
Let's just go to bed. Let's just go to bed.
She doesn't let go of you. She just stays holding you for as long as you need her. Again, trying to be that big sister in this moment.
I want to stay and help, but I know stuff out there that I'm doing with my friends is impacting here, and I feel torn. If something happens while I'm gone,
You have duties like I do. But my duties are here, and yours are out there. Kaiden, you were never meant to be stuck in this grove for the rest of your life.
neither were you.
Someone has to. And now Mother's in that tree. I have to.
I'll always be there if you need help, anything, you know.
She kind of presses her forehead into you. I know. Doesn't matter how far you go, I know. We'll always have each other, Kaiden.
I know Dad always wanted me to be 𝘏𝘪𝘮, but you've always been better at it. And just like Mom says, you've been ready for a long time. I mean, even before I left, you reminded me so much of Dad. Just probably even do better than him.
She shakes her head. I don't think I'll ever live up to that.
I think you will.
I'm barely managing the grove as it is now.
That's how Dad felt.
She kind of sits down on her knees, takes 𝘏𝘪's hand, and rubs her thumb over her knuckles. I'll prepare a funeral, okay? Don't worry about you. Just focus on the things that need to get done. I'll tell you when it's time.
Kaiden will say his goodbyes and kiss his mother on her forehead. He will find the rock that's most important to him in his collection and just leave it with his mother before kind of walking out. And it's kind of like, with everything going on, people rushing around and everyone's busy, but it's just all drones out into just this buzzing noise in the background for him. He's just kind of trying to focus, and it takes him a bit before he just goes around and just does what he can to help.
It's noticeable to the rest of you that something has shifted. Something is different. And as another druid, Duncan, you, especially being a druid of the circle that you are, you can feel that shift as if it's a big occult breeze. You know someone has died. You don't know who, but you know someone has died. The rest of the day is hectic. The four of you are busy trying to lock down the grove as much as you can, watching for any signs of anything. Sinza and Duncan, I need you both to make a perception check, please.
Ten. Shit.
I didn't hear Jade, or did you?
12. Hello.
Just before we get onto that, Lyre, what's up?
While we're here, just so I can sort of keep an eye out, as he's helping Avi, can I keep a sense out, or an arcane wave in a sense, for the old feeling of the book? The same kind of energy that comes from it.
Yeah, you have a feeling that if it was in the presence of you, if that kind of magic was in the presence of you, you'd pick it up.
Yeah.
So what was Sinza's again? Sorry, your perception check?
12.
Was it both of you as well?
No, 10, sorry.
No, 12. Sinza, you're focused mostly on just kind of tying one of these barricades together. Duncan, you swear you hear something from down the path that doesn't sound like a person. There's kind of almost like a growl.
I'm the only one that seems to notice.
Yes.
Is Sinza nearby?
She's next to you.
I'm gonna sort of go over, and without really sort of saying too much, not to make any like big movements, he's gonna sort of get close, and he'll sort of reach over and slowly grab a harpoon as he sort of looks over to Sinza. Not look, but like in their general direction as their eyes sort of maintain. Get the others.
Sinza finishes tying her knot. And then she looks in the direction that you're looking. Do I see anything? Do I sense anything? Nothing at all.
You don't see anything, but with Duncan's warning and the way that he's grabbing his weapon, you're like, oh, something's off here.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to do something if possible.
Yeah?
I would like to use my elevated sight.
Yeah, sure. What does that look like?
I like to think that his eyes are black with these sort of bright blue. This sort of smoke would cover his eyes as it would slowly flow up. As you see those eyes sort of float up and just sort of look down and spin around almost.
Sinza, you just see kind of Duncan's gaze changes slightly. And as this invisible sensor moves up above you, Duncan, 120 feet into the sky, you're able to get a full view of the canopy. And whatever is in it from this point. Roll me a perception check at advantage.
Please. Damn. 16.
16. That's still good. You watch as something white moves through the bushes. There's almost like these weird misshapen spines coming off of its neck, and along its jawline, these almost like flattened plates that are sticking out of its jaw. It's got a very long, elongated neck, and just observing it, Duncan, with your history and the sort of things that you have seen, roll me a history check at advantage, please.
I'm stupid. No, I'm not. 15.
Okay, 15. This is one of the first Beastmaster's children. This is something that has stepped out of the Astral Sea. A wyvern, potentially? No. As you're looking at it, it's not quite a wyvern. It has 4 legs. This is a dragon. And it is making its way through almost silently, other than the gentle reverberation of this growl that passes through the woods. And you see a person riding it. Can't quite make out any features other than sort of this scaled look on their face. They've got a helmet with a large kind of plume over the back, bearing some kind of armor, but both of them are giving that exact sensation of when you've traversed the Astral Sea. You've seen creatures like this. You've seen people. People is a strong word. You've seen beings that have been in the Astral Sea too long. Servants of the angels that have ended up there and remained there. Conduits of warp. This is probably the person that the Beastmaster has put in charge of this creature. Standing on its back, hand over a rein that is over the front of this creature's head. But they are maybe a good 100 feet out, maybe a bit further.
I get the sense that they can see what's going on in this place really like clearly, or is it?
The way they're moving, it seems like they're almost like scouting around the outside of the grove's perimeter.
So it's a dragon.
Yeah. Doesn't look particularly old, but it looks like a dragon.
Eyes still focused. Looks not looks, but just sort of turns their head in the direction. Dragon.
What?
Dragon. Warn people now.
Okay. In shock from what Duncan's saying, Sinza gets to her feet quietly, trying not to make too much of like a mess of movements, and she's going to wander over to the closest person.
Okay. Iris and Zani are talking outside, like next to the tree. And as you make your way over, Iris kind of looks at you and looks at your expression.
There's fear in Sinza's eyes.
Are you okay? What?
Fuck, Duncan saw a dragon.
Shit. She turns to Zani. I need you to get people inside now. And Zani kind of nods. It's one of the few times you've seen Zani quite serious, in that she starts booking it around the grove and tries to encourage as many people, like civilians, into buildings as possible. I need to protect the people. This is going to be. I'll see what I can do, but I don't know if I can do much. Arvi needs to focus on keeping this barrier up. Maybe that'll be enough. Maybe.
I don't know how long it's gonna last against a dragon. I have faith in Arvi, and
I've never even seen a dragon. I've seen dragons.
Look, it's Sinza just puts her hands on her shoulders. You know your people. You trust your people. We just need to do all we can.
Do not let it touch the tree. No matter what. You need to keep it away from the grove if you can.
I wonder if we can lead it away from the grove.
That would be great.
Okay. Sinza's going to... Where's Kaiden?
Where is Kaiden?
Kaiden's probably helping out with something. He's probably around there will do.
Sinza makes her way over to Kaiden. Mr. Kaiden.
Yeah, what's up, Jade?
Have I dealt with or have any learned knowledge from creatures like this? Can I
roll me a nature check? Oh, that seems particularly natural.
Fear, panic.
13.
13. Dragons, when they are used like this is not common on Sith. Dragons are not native to Sith. Especially something that looks like that. It is native to a different plane. This thing is probably going to be utilized as a siege monster. It is therefore destroying architecture, destroying structures. If this thing is here, the intention is to destroy the grove.
Is there anything I know of that can give me or anyone in this grove an edge in any way? Or are we just bracing for impact?
With a 13, it would be safe to assume that a dragon of this color, with these kinds of scales, likely has an affinity for cold. Ice, that sort of thing. You're not sure if it's going to be weaker to anything. You haven't seen this specific creature before. You're effectively just going off of what you think is going to be useful here.
Okay.
But it does seem to have wings, so it can probably fly.
Okay.
Kaiden says that.
Kaiden.
Yeah.
Sinza, hearing and seeing probably the state that Kaiden's in, she hesitates for a second to speak because she's just shocked by the expression. Are you okay?
No, but there's a lot going on, so we can talk about it after.
Okay, I'm sorry. Duncan thinks he saw a dragon.
Outside the grove?
Yeah. I think we need to grab Lyre, and if we can lead it away from the grove, it might stand a chance.
If we lead it away and it knows where the grove is.
But it's hunting Lyre.
We use Lyre. What do we do then? Do we just all go and lead it away, and then what? We don't know if there's more. There could be more that just appear out of nowhere.
So you want to stay here and protect the grove?
I want to protect the grove. I just want to make sure we think about this.
I'm thinking about what it's hunting.
Okay. Well, let's go ask Lyre.
I understand what you're saying, Kaiden. I do. I know you want to protect your grove. But I think the best way to protect the grove is to get this thing away from it. We leave someone here, someone who can message. Arvi, for example, who can message. If that comes back to the grove, then we can head back here. You okay, big man?
Maya.
That ping, that feeling, that energy. The second Lyre feels it, he's going to stand up and turn and head towards just the edge of the barrier and look out.
You kind of stand next to Duncan. And it's coming from that way. But you can't see anything right now.
He's going to unhook his trident and put it to his side. He's going to look back for Sinza and Kaiden. Are they nearby?
They're a little ways away, but they're nearby.
He's just going to whistle and gesture for them to come over. This is you've seen Lyre angry, you've seen Lyre serious, you've seen Lyre crazy. He is scarily calm. And he's gonna look to his left and right to, if you guys are there, and just say, Kaiden, I don't know what's out there. I can't see it. But it's here. It's hunting me. I can lead it away if you guys can keep up.
That's a big risk.
It's better than your Conclave getting hurt. I don't have to run towards it, but I just need to see if it follows.
I need to respect the Conclave and you. I trust you and your abilities. I'm just concerned.
I'd rather remove one risk. Get it in an even playing field where we don't have to watch for others, or it can use the grove against us. Level the playing field.
Duncan, are you still using your elevated sign?
Yep, I'm keeping an eye on it.
It suddenly vanishes.
What?
Almost like it has shifted out of this plane.
Can I still feel its energy, or is it gone?
Yep, you can still feel it.
Is it ahead of me?
Yeah, it has not changed direction, but Duncan cannot see it anymore.
Okay, we need to make a decision about what we're doing. Are we staying here in the grove or are we leading it away?
We lead it away.
There is a thump. And another thump. And a tree falls over.
We're leading it away. We need to do it now. Who's leading it
Yeah.
away?
Follow me.
Lyre.
Lyre's going to slam down his trident and activate his blade song. He's going to start shooting around vibrations all around him. And then he's going to spin his trident and flick it against one of his heels, which is going to cause a spark. I'm going to cast a Shuttle and Stride, which gives me a boost of 20 feet of movement, plus my blade song gives me another 30.
Fuck me. Okay.
So I have 60 feet movement total right now.
Okay. And as you spark this magic off of your ankle, all four of you stood at the front of this grove. Watch as it apparates. You see this white claw curled around the front of one of the trees, and it just tears it out of its roots as it begins to climb, and it begins to almost like pull itself out of the void as it apparates ahead of you in this shimmer of iridescent anti-magic. And climbing out of the dark through the trees is this gigantic figure, spined, scaled, no eyes, just this long kind of open maw. And standing atop it is a yuan-ti. With this flared helm, a kind of blue, almost aquamarine scales, and gold tinged across the cheeks, with completely black eyes, as they are kind of looking in your direction, standing atop the back of it and holding onto one of these ridges. As it begins to kind of peel itself out, and there's this smile on this person's face. And as they appear, beginning to move towards the grove, these sort of shadows begin to warp around it. And climbing out of the dirt seamlessly are these figures, these beasts, these spectral kind of creatures that climb forward and kind of growl in your direction, kind of heads snapping, all of them with these blacked out eyes you could see stars in, as you watch as they're kind of assessing you, before the lunar dragon lets out a terrifying, bone-fucking rattling roar. And that is where we are going to end our session.
I can hear you, love.
Door's open, by the way,
Thank you
lad.
very much for watching. And we are going to get to deal with this shit next week. So we'll see you all then. Okay, bye. Bye-bye.
A lot of